Hey there, thank you for coming back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome. It's been a while since I do my introduction with my bare face, but if you are one of my viewers, you should know exactly what it means when I do this. We're going to be doing a foundation wear test today. The foundation that I'm going to be talking about today is not a new foundation by any means. It is the Clio 𝐃𝐢𝐬𝐜𝐿 Glow Foundation. Even though this foundation is not a new foundation, since the weather has been very dry where I am living, I've been looking for a glowier foundation that has good coverage and also good lasting power. So we'll definitely see if this foundation from Clio tick all of my boxes. The Clio 𝐃𝐢𝐬𝐜𝐿 Glow Foundation is being retailed for $23 to $25 depending on where you get the product from, and there are currently 6 shades. The shade that I chose for myself is 3.5 Vanilla, which is supposed to be a 22 with a cool undertone. For the price of $23 to $25, you're not just going to be getting the 40 milliliters of foundation, but you're also going to be gifted with a flat foundation brush. So for the wear test today, I'm going to be applying the product on half of my face using this brush that came with the foundation. And then on the other half, I'm going to be using a wet sponge. So let's now zoom you guys right in so we can start the application of this foundation on my face. Before I start applying the product to my face, here is a closer look at the current condition of my skin. It is definitely a little bit shinier than usual because I just applied some moisturizer and sunscreen. And there's also the usual level of redness around my butterfly zone. I'm going to start the application of this foundation on the right side of my face using the foundation brush that comes with the product. And we're first going to shake up the bottle as per the instruction. So it's definitely a runny foundation, but it's actually not as runny as I thought it would be. And that was about 1 pump of foundation on my hand, so let's now start the application with the brush. There is a light skincare smell that this foundation has, but it's actually not very strong to begin with, and I expect that this smell will dissipate once the foundation completely settles down. And as you can see, I didn't even pick up that much on the brush, and it already has pretty good coverage, especially around the butterfly zone. I feel like I can't really see any of the redness that I used to have there before applying this foundation. There's still some pimple marks and dark spots down here, so I'm going to lay down another layer down here to see if that will boost the coverage level. This foundation brush that comes with the foundation is also my favorite kind of foundation brush because it allows you to really apply in thin layers, and it also doesn't eat up the foundation. So here is a closer look at the side of my face that I just applied the foundation with the foundation brush. This foundation looks beautiful on my skin, I think, and the coverage is also pretty good, which is kind of expected from Clio. It also sort of has blurred the pores on my nose pretty nicely, and it doesn't seem to crease or anything like I usually find with glowier foundation. The redness is pretty much completely covered. There's still some dark spots on my skin that is not completely covered, but I usually just leave these spots alone because then it makes my skin look more natural, and it also makes it look like I am not wearing too much foundation. I'm now going to move on with the wet sponge on the other side of my face. With the wet sponge, I can already see that the coverage level is not as high as with the brush, which is expected, since the sponge definitely will absorb some of the product. It definitely is faster than applying with a brush though, to cover a wider area. Okay, so that was pretty much all of the first pump of foundation that was on my skin. And I think I want to build up the coverage some more on this side of my face. So I'm going to get a little bit more of the foundation. Probably half a pump, that much. And we'll see if this is enough to use on the side of my face that I'm using the sponge with. So I'm now happy with the coverage level on both sides of my face, and I still have a tiny bit of foundation left. I'm going to just wipe that off my hand and then zoom you guys in even closer to see what my skin looks like with this foundation on. Hello again. So here is a really close-up look of my face with the 𝐃𝐢𝐬𝐜𝐿 Glow foundation on. This is the side where I use the foundation brush that comes with the foundation, and on this side I apply the foundation with the wet sponge. I think both sides look pretty much the same. On my skin, the side with the foundation brush feels like there's a little bit more product than the side with the sponge, which is to be expected. But in terms of pore and also pigment coverage, the side with the brush and the side with the sponge look the same to me. As I said previously when I was applying the foundation, this foundation seems to not have the usual downfalls of a glowy foundation in my opinion, because what I usually find with a glowier foundation is that it creases pretty badly and pretty easily around the nooks and crannies of my nose. And then also if I use a glowy foundation with a foundation brush, then the brush will usually leave marks on my skin, which doesn't seem to be the case here because the foundation still looks pretty smooth on my skin, even on the side with the brush. The dark spots are still visible, especially this one for example, but it's pretty faint, so I feel like with some blush and some contouring powder, that will be pretty negligible, and at a distance also, you probably wouldn't be able to see it. Down around my mouth area, the foundation is laying on top of my skin really nicely without any creasing or caking. And then for a comparison in terms of coverage of this foundation, here is a side-by-side look of my skin pre and post application. I'm going to now go ahead and put down a very thin layer of this Makeup Forever Ultra HD powder, and then we'll see if that makes any differences with the foundation on my skin. Here's my face after powdering, and as you can see, as I move my face around, there's still a fair bit of glowiness, especially on the high points of my cheeks. And the powder definitely got some of the shininess around the T-zone, but my skin definitely does not look completely matte and still very natural and healthy. I've just finished my makeup off camera, so here is a complete look for you guys before I embark on my 8-hour wear test. I'm definitely very happy with how my skin is looking right in this moment. I think the foundation did a very good job of blurring out the texture and pores that I have in the butterfly zone, and my skin is looking very natural yet flawless at the same time. And even though my skin is not dewy looking by any means, it still looks very moisturized even though I did use some powder product on top of the foundation itself. And one plus thing is that my skin is also feeling super comfortable underneath this foundation, which is a good sign since usually when I use a glowier foundation, my skin actually feels drier underneath compared to when I use a matte or semi-matte foundation. I'm now going to go on with the rest of my day, and the next time that you see me in front of the camera, it will be at the end of the 8-hour wear test, and I will be walking you guys through my midway checkpoint as well as the condition of my skin at the end of the day. I am back after 8 hours of wearing the 𝐃𝐢𝐬𝐜𝐿 Glow Foundation from Clio, and let me now first walk you guys through what my skin looks like at the midway checkpoint before going into my skin condition at the moment. So about 4 hours after the application of the foundation, I filmed the condition of my skin in natural lighting. And I was actually quite surprised that my skin did not get as oily as I expected, especially since the 𝐃𝐢𝐬𝐿 Glow Foundation is a glowy foundation. I definitely did get a little bit shinier in the T-zone, but this shininess is not really to the level of greasiness yet, and I was willing to look past that. However, at this point, I also started noticing a little bit of creasing around my nose, specifically in the area where I use the sponge to apply the foundation to my face. On the side of my face that I use the foundation brush, the foundation definitely did not seem to crease as much. And around the butterfly zone, which is my trouble area, the foundation still seemed to lay on top of my skin very smoothly, and it still blurred out all the textures and pores that I have in that area. I also did not see any kind of flakiness around my mouth, even though I had actually just had my lunch when I filmed the footage for the midway checkpoint either. My skin underneath the foundation at this time was also still feeling super comfortable, and the high points of my cheeks did not feel tight or dry at all. Let's now take a look at what my skin looks like at this point, which is 8 hours after the application of the foundation. As you can see, I have gotten a lot oilier compared to when I did the midway checkpoint. And this oiliness is definitely on the level of greasiness, although this is definitely not as greasy as I could get in the butterfly zone. The creasing on the side of my face that I use the sponge to apply the foundation has gotten worse, and I can definitely see also that on the side of my face where I use the foundation brush, the creasing is a lot more visible now, and on top of that, I am starting to see a little bit of redness peeking through from underneath the foundation since some of the coverage has gotten rubbed off. At a distance, however, I think the foundation still looks very nice, and my skin still looks very naturally glowy without looking greasy or oily, and I'm very happy with how my skin looked after 8 hours of wearing this glowy foundation from Clio. All in all, I think Clio did a great job again with this 𝐃𝐢𝐬𝐿 Glow Foundation, and I think this is going to be the foundation that I reach for a lot in the next couple of months when the weather is quite dry and also quite cold where I am living. I think this foundation is going to work for a lot of different skin types, and even though it is a shame that there are only 6 different shades in the range for this foundation, if you are one of these people who can actually find a shade out of the 6 available that suits your skin tone, I definitely recommend you check it out, because this is probably one of the best glowy foundation that has high coverage while being comfortable to wear and also has decent lasting power that I have ever tried. If you have actually tried this Clio foundation out for yourself, let me know in the comment section below what skin type you have, and also what shade you chose out of the 6 available shades for yourself, as well as your experience using this Clio 𝐃𝐢𝐬𝐿 Glow Foundation. That is all for today's video. Thank you so much for spending time with me again today, and please hit the like button if you have enjoyed this video or found it useful. I always upload at least 1 video, and usually 2 videos on Korean beauty every week, so please remember and consider to hit the subscribe button as well as the notification bell so that whenever I upload new videos, you are notified. Thank you so much for watching again, and I'll see you guys next time.